Oda never ceases to amaze at this point, and it is utterly amazing how this chapter wasn't stuffed like the last week's chapter, but Oda really pulls at the tug strings with a major callback at the end of this chapter. And I am absolutely, positively happy that this chapter turned out the way it did. And honestly, great chapter. Just absolutely friggin' great. I'm Smalls of Black Knight Anime Manga, and this is my thoughts on and review for One Piece Manga Chapter 1042, The Victor Needs No Epithet. So starting off, we do follow up with Pudding, as Oven takes away the book containing the Vinsmoke siblings. So she's still a little pissed, but I wonder how it's going to, transition into her actually freeing them, as we presume she might, but who knows at this point. But going into the chapter itself, we start off with what one would think would be Drake's redemption, impaling the CP0 member from the back before what seems to have been the start of a new fight, but in retrospect, after reaching the end of the chapter, it seems like a final blow taking Drake out for the rest of the arc. Which sucks, because I always said that Drake was kind of underutilized, but it looked like every time he was being underutilized, we were giving him a new chance to shine. And I feel like this disservices Drake in service to what still was a very good callback in my eyes. But for the most part after that, we go back to the Flower Capital, see them putting the lanterns up, and then we go back for an all balls out confrontation between Luffy and Kaido, where he's switching from Snake Man to Bounce Man, trying to get the most out of his Gear 4, and Kaido's going through drunk phases, pulling out an even bigger Thunder Bagua that almost nearly takes out Luffy, just like he did in the beginning of the arc, but not entirely. There are some similarities, but Luffy does still pull himself together and stops himself from feigning the same way. And his future sight is mostly useful until Kaido kind of just says, screw it, I'm gonna use mine too. Because it is draining. It drains a lot of stamina. But Kaido's at the point where he's like, well, if I don't use it, maybe things won't be as easy for me at this point. Might as well just fucking use it at this point. He's drunk, so he really doesn't give a shit. But he is just bloodthirsty, flirty, and mimicry. He's just nuts. Like, drunk Kaido is the best Kaido. Overall, the best Kaido in full reality is a Kaido that reminisces and sees the pain that he doesn't like what happens at the end of this chapter. You see it. There, you can literally see Oda delves into the pain in Kaido's face as CP0 catches Luffy off guard during their final clash and stops him just enough so that Kaido's hit lands. Sad part is, Kaido did not intend for that hit to land in that way. But by the time Luffy was too caught up in the fight to really realize what was going on until it was too late, and so was Kaido. Now, as for what Kaido does next chapter, it's gonna be a huge upheaval. Maybe CP0 will finally get their comeuppance. They probably will, but we'll just have to wait and see. And honestly, luckily, this is a very short chapter. I wish this was last week's chapter when I had less time, but there's not a lot to delve into. Probably should just say outright that this chapter was still very good, and I'm happy that Oda did it this way, even though, like I said, Drake feels a little bit disserviced in the end. But that's just my thoughts. What did you guys think? Tell me your thoughts and opinions below, and how bad do you think our remaining CP0 members are going to get thrashed next week? I'm Smalls, again, of Black Knight Anime and Manga. Till next time, stay safe.